I wouldn't want work to become an habit, but as jobs go, this'll do me.
When did he start digging again?
Tomorrow. Mr. Tate thought it'd look better if we took a day out in respect for that old dear in hospital.
Got me to thank for it, then.
Dirt men in the village will thank you. Well liked is Betsy Eggleton.
What they don't know, I can't be blamed for. And none of you's gonna tell them different. Are you?
I sometimes think the whole world's gone mad, Biff.
Yeah. You put a thug in a uniform and he thinks he's got the right to do this.
I remember when there were no bottom land where that quarries. We used to play hooky there when we were kids. I never dreamt it were all worth fighting over.
She's going to be all right, Seth. She'll pull through, you'll see. She's going to be back on her feet and nagging us by the end of the week.
You ought to be getting to work.
You sure you're going to be all right?
I will be when I know she is. Oh, and tell Frank Tate I'm not coming in today.
Have you spoken to Steve?
Yeah, on the answering machine. He was out the night early.
Oh, still in bed with Tina Dingle. They seemed quite set in for the night when I got there.
Perhaps someone ought to warn him about her.
Not me. I've already made enough mistakes in that area. When he first came to Emmerdale, he seemed to think he could just pick up where he left off.
Well, maybe I'm being old-fashioned, but didn't he notice the husband and the baby?
Well, I'm not too sure about the husband anymore.
Because of Steve?
I can't say I wasn't tempted, but if things had been going right between me and Chris, I wouldn't have even given it a second thought.
Well, they haven't been right for a long time, have they?
I guess that's why I ran to Steve. It seemed like a way out. I just ended up making a fool of myself.
If Tina Dingle's his idea of consolation, you're better off without him.
No goodbye kiss?
Seemed ashamed to wake you.
Oh, I thought we might at least have breakfast together.
I've got to get to work.
Sure, that's the only reason. Maybe you tried to tell me last night was just a one-off.
Too much fun for that. But I'm still a busy girl, and Frank will be expecting me.
Lucky Frank.
This is a message for Steve. I'm afraid Rachel isn't well enough to come into work today.
Frank obviously gets more loyalties from his staff than I do.
Perhaps I frightened her off. She seemed in a bit of a state last night.
Yeah, domestic crisis, I guess. Don't know why people ever get married. Seems to bring nothing but trouble. How about breakfast in bed?
Sounds great. Hope you enjoy it.
You turning me down?
No, just putting you on hold. See you in the Woolpack, lunchtime.
Local pensioner taken into hospital with head injuries, kept overnight for observation.
Not going to make Frank Tate very popular, is it?
Well, his security men, which is more of a worry for us.
Too right. They're spending a fortune in here. Wouldn't want to do anything to stop them coming in.
Well, we do have our regulars to consider. And how do you think people are going to feel about drinking next to the people who put Betty in hospital?
It'll be a bit iffy for a day or two.
Now, on the other hand, if I ban those security men, they might think that I'm overreacting to the situation.
Oh, well, the look of that lot, I'll kick your head in first and ask questions after.
Yeah. Yes, it's delicate. No, perhaps we should wait for opening and judge public reaction at the time before we decide what we're going to do.
What's with the wee, white man? It's my day off, remember? You're on your own on this one.
Viv! Viv!
What now?
Kelly still seems upset about this quarry business.
Oh, well, she'll get over it. Look, it's a long drive, Vic. I wanted to leave early, spend as much time as I can with Scott.
Yeah, but I think it might be better if she don't go to school today, though.
You don't expect her to come with me, do you?
No, I'll keep her here.
Oh. You mean you're looking for cheap labour?
Well, she seemed pleased. So I give her extra £5 of pocket money. Should tell?
Do what you like. I've got to go.
Well, send Scott our love.
was wondering if you could tell me how Betty Eggleton's progressing. No, I'm not a relative, just a friend. I see. Okay, fine. I'll call back later. Thanks. Bye.
Trying to repair the bad publicity?
It would all have been a lot easier if you hadn't opened your big mouth at the blessing.
I just told the truth.
Well, that's a novelty for you. You've caused enough trouble with your lies.
So why don't you just leave us to get on with our planning meeting?
Let the boys play with their toys, eh? What are you going to do? Ring the quarry with nuclear missiles in case there's another pensioners outing?
I know what I'd like to do with you.
But you can't. Because I'm the mother of your precious son and heir. And we still have an agreement.
Forget it, Dad. We've got plenty of time to deal with her later. We've got more important things to sort out now.
Did you get anything out of the hospital?
No, they weren't giving much away. Maybe I should just go up and visit her.
Well, I think that'd be a big mistake. Might look like an admission of guilt.
Charles is right. Betty's the best publicity card the protesters have got.
Betty?
What time is it?
9:30.
Oh, should be at work. I'm late.
Hey, you're not going anywhere.
What's all there?
You're in hospital. You're going to head at that protest. We've been worried sick about you.
Oh, no. Nothing to worry about. I've just got this terrible headache. I'll have a couple of aspirins when I get home.
You're staying in here for observation, doctor's orders.
Oh, you know I don't like a lot of fuss.
You'll do as you're told, love. Do you remember out about Quarry?
I remember lots of people pushing and shoving who should have known better.
With you?
I don't know, love, I can't remember.
Well, when I find out, they'll have me to answer to.
Get away, all right?
We're too busy worrying about barren security men to ask any awkward questions. What about Vic?
Told me to send his love to Scott.
What time are you meeting him?
5 o'clock.
Means we've got 7 whole hours to ourselves.
Let's go.
That's this morning's press release.
I'll get it out. And you've been offered an interview on the early evening local news.
Good. The more chances we get of putting our case across, the better. I want notice of what questions they're asking.
Yes, Frank. I'll make the arrangements.
Yeah, just have to hope Kim doesn't put a spoke in the works again.
Seems to be a problem with Tate wives. How's Rachel settling down?
I don't know. She and Joseph spent the night at the Sugdens. Well, I haven't heard from them.
Well, you don't seem very worried about it.
Well, you know what Rachel's like every time she finds a new cause to fight for. I just thought it was best to sit back and wait till it all fizzles out.
Well, she's always come back before, I suppose.
Yeah, and she will this time.
So we've got to put the environment first. A farm is much more used to a community than a dirty, noisy quarry and everything that goes with it. We must remain vigilant, OK?
Yeah. Well said, Rachel. Frank Tate knows what he can do with his offer.
Morale seems high. They'll be ready for the Tate's next move.
How about you? Still no word from Chris?
Suits me. I don't want to speak to him.
He's still your husband.
Not for long.
Look, I'm not one to defend Chris. He's a spoilt rich kid, and I doubt he'll ever change.
So I'm better off without him.
Yeah, but there's more to consider than just you and him. There's Joseph, his future.
Look, I'm not like Kim. My son is not for sale.
Chris loves the boy in his own way. He'll want to provide for him. It also happens to be his duty.
But I don't want all the strings that go with it.
Well, brother caused a bit of a stir at the blessing. Got any more bombshells planned, does he?
I think my brother said all that was needed to be said, thank you.
You're not at school today, Kelly?
She's still a bit upset by all that business at the quarry, so I thought it best if she stays at home today.
Sorry, I'll be missing drama club. I won't worry, Kelly. There's enough drama in this village to keep anyone going.
You're not going to report, Kelly, are you? I mean, after all, you're not at school yourself, are you?
Actually, I'm still recovering from the quarry protest myself, so Maybe it's best forgotten, eh?
Good man. Look, I'm just about to pop over to Woolpack if you fancy a pint.
Sorry, I can't. I've got to go and see my ex-girlfriend. Finalise our flat sale.
Some other time, then?
Yeah.
You must have made a great impression on Mr. Bainbridge, trying to get him to go boozing.
I was trying to smooth things over for you. I don't want anyone saying he was bunking off.
Oh, I forgot. You're supposed to be looking after me. That's why you're bunking off again.
Someone's got to look after the shop. I'll bring you back a sandwich.
How's Betty?
She's conscious. No thanks to any of you lot.
Seth, I don't think you can blame us for what happened. We all went there with the best of intentions.
Seems to me that sort of thing should be solved by talking, not fighting.
Seth's right, you know. You've got to make your protest through the proper channels. That's the way you change things.
If Frank Tate had any intention of listening to reason, he wouldn't have set those security blokes on us. They were just looking for a fight, and poor Betty got in their way.
Maybe I should have a word with them.
I wouldn't advise it, Seth.
No offence, Tom, but you're new to this village. Takes a while to get accepted. Most of those lads are local boys. They're more likely to listen to us.
Oh, look what the cat's dragged in.
They've got a cheek showing their faces after what they did.
I was rather afraid this might happen.
Which one of you lot hit Betty?
Can't help you. Didn't see anything. No, me neither.
Maybe she tripped. It was her fault for getting in the way.
Leave this to me, Biff. You gentlemen are not welcome here.
You what?
You're barred.
Hey? But you can't bar us. This is our local.
It was Betty's local, too. And while she's in hospital, I don't want to see any of you here.
We came in for a quiet drink, and one way or another we're gonna get one, fatty!
That's enough.
Who pulled your chain?
I'm a business associate of Frank Tate's. And if he hears you've been creating a disturbance, you'll be out of a job. So why don't you run along and find yourself somewhere else to drink?
Come on. It ain't worth getting sacked for.
Plenty of cold beers on sale in my shop, boys. I'm only trying to help out, Alan.
Never saw you as Tom Cruise before.
Just protecting my investment. We don't need any more bad publicity. Just to keep our fingers crossed the old dear doesn't die.
Nay, I'll get these. Have one yourself, Mr. Turner.
You buying me a drink, sir? This is an historic occasion.
Good to know your real friends are. Bet you'll appreciate what you did.
Well, let's just hope it leads to a speedy recovery.
Yeah, I'll drink to that. Me and Seth are going to go and visit her later, so she's going to be pleased to know the sum will put people before profit.
Well, money isn't everything. That's £4.60, sir.
Pleasure, Mr. Turner. Oh, heck. You look as if...
Have them on us, Seth. It's good to know some things never change.
Go on. Enjoy yourselves, boys. You know where to come when you need to stock up again. Cheers, Vic.
You make me sick.
I was performing a public service, helping to avert a very nasty incident in the Woolpack. Make myself a few bob at the same time.
Them lot are just thugs. Frank Tate's lackeys.
Look, this is a shop. I don't get involved in local politics. Live and let live. It's my motto.
And does that extend to Betty? Because she nearly died because of them.
No, that was down to those rent-a-mob extremists. They always latch on to this sort of thing, which is why I don't want you going near that quarry again.
Mr. Bainbridge says everyone's entitled to a peaceful protest.
Oh, does he? Well, he's a teacher. I'm a parent. I outrank him, and I say you're grounded.
You can't do that.
I've just done it. There's a curfew on. You're not going nowhere tonight.
We'll see what Mum's got to say about that when she gets back, because she's on my side too. And like you, she's got some morals.
Doesn't seem right, does it, having a nice romantic day out with all the trouble in the village? Betty in hospital.
Hey. Forget about Emmerdale. Booked a room.
Here? Well, didn't they think it was a bit odd in a room in the afternoon?
Yeah. I told them we'd been on a long old flight. Needed to catch up with some sleep.
And did they believe you?
Don't matter. We're not going to see any of these folks again, are we? So finish your drink and let's get upstairs.
Word of advice, Kim. Don't push your luck too far. Dad's already angry enough about your performance at the Blessing.
I'd say my position's a lot safer than yours.
That's just where you're wrong. You see, I'm back in the will now. No, whereas Dad just thinks of you as a broodmare. Now you've had your foal, you're on your way to being redundant.
At least I can have another foal. Your Californian treatment doesn't seem to have helped much. Not that it matters now your wife's left you.
She hasn't left me. She's just gone away for a few days, you know, involved in another of her causes.
Funny. Didn't look like that to me when I saw her banging on Steve's door in the middle of the night.
I don't think he saw us.
Of course he did. He's just been discreet.
Well, let's take advantage of that and get upstairs.
Oh, I couldn't, not with him down here. He's Kelly's teacher.
Viv, we've only got a few hours.
Look, if he says anything to Vic, we can just claim we happened to meet while I was on the way to seeing Scott and you were on the way to wherever you're supposed to be going.
Right.
But we can't live together.
Well, how am I going to get home?
I'll drive the car up to the crossroads. You wait here for a few minutes, pay the bill, and I'll see you up there.
Hey, we're not calling it off then.
We've just got to find somewhere else.
Telly people are here, Frank.
Ah, good. Better get ready for my performance then.
Frank, I've been thinking, local family man. That's the image we need to counter the bad publicity of this Betty Eggleton business.
Self-made millionaire, doing his best to bring work to the whole community.
Perfect.
Perhaps we should get Chris in. Show we care about the disabled too.
I'm not too sure about that.
No, that's an excellent idea. Got a promising girl there, Frank.
I'm telling you, we got clean away with it.
Are you sure he didn't say anything to you?
Not a word. I've told you. He didn't see us.
Well, I'm not so sure.
There's no point in worrying about it anymore. Let's make the best of the time we got left.
Oh, you know I don't like all this fuss, Biff. I want to get out of this place. I've got a wedding to organise.
Plenty of time for that. We have to make sure you're fit first.
Well, if I'm going to be stuck in here, you two had better keep me all up to date with the village news, because I don't want to miss out on anything.
Betty, you're the village gossip. Alan Turner's barred those security guards from the Woolpack because of what they did to you.
And Frank Tate's given a TV interview. It looks as if he's got the sense to realise things can't go on like this.
What happened to me has made people stop and think and brought a bit of peace and quiet to the village. Well, it's all been worthwhile then.
I've told you, you're not going anywhere.
And I've told you, you can't stop me.
Listen, Frank Tate is going to be on the box in a minute. You could at least listen to what he's got to say before you start protesting about it.
I don't want to hear any of his lies.
But democracy is about listening to the other bloke's point of view, isn't it? I mean, isn't that what your precious Mr. Bainbridge is always on about?
Still playing Happy Families, I see.
Hello, love. How's Scott?
Fine. Sends everyone his love.
Can see why he joined up. Keeps him out of the battle zone.
Kelly, come back here. It's about time you took that girl in hand.
Glad to see you all miss me.
Hurry up, it's coming on now.
Betty Eggleton's a fine woman, and I consider her to be a friend.
Well
Of
said,
course,
Frank.
Friends disagree, but usually it's settled over a cup of tea. And I'm sure it would have been this time if it hadn't been for outside influences. There seems to be a breed of professional protesters, people who are quite happy to exploit the legitimate concern of simple folk like Betty.
What's he
and
talking
just
about?
use them for their own
It were him
ends.
that brought outsiders in. They were his
All we're
thugs.
trying to do is to bring local work for local people and make Emmerdale a better and more prosperous place to live in. For our children.
Well, excuse me. That's just enough to make you sick.
It sounds as if he's blaming Betty. As if we should be grateful to him.
Well, maybe it's about time we told him that's not how we see it.
Where is Joseph?
Sarah's putting him to bed. I don't want him disturbed.
In that case, you shouldn't have brought him here. You'd be much safer at home.
Talking about Mill Cottage, I don't consider that is his home anymore.
Look, we've been through this before, Rachel. Every time you chase off after a new cause, poor little Joseph has to suffer for it. Isn't it time you stopped playing politics and remembered you're a mother?
That is something that I have never forgotten. And believe me, I've got Joseph's best interests at heart.
That's why I'm taking him away from you.
I seem to have heard that before.
The difference is, this time I mean it. You've run out of chances, Chris. You're not going to change. I don't love you anymore. In fact, I don't think I even like you. So you may as well get off back to home farm and plot and scheme with Frank and make your millions, because that's all you ever really cared about. But count me out. Me and Joseph aren't part of that anymore. How much longer is this going to take, Frank? Only I was hoping to get off soon.
I won't be long. Tell you what, I'll take you out for a bite to eat later. Now that things seem to be going our way again, we're entitled to a small celebration.
Nice idea, Frank, but I promised I'd meet a friend tonight.
I want a word with you, Frank.
I'm busy.
Oh, we can do this in the morning, Frank. I'll leave you to it.
What's on your mind?
I saw your TV interview.
Yeah, went rather well, I thought.
I didn't.
I don't employ you as a media consultant.
Well, maybe not. But you're going to have to listen to what I've got to say.
Rachel's asked me to say a few words. Well, I've never been one for making speeches, but I would like to thank you all for coming and giving us your support. You know, this isn't just about our farm. It'll affect everyone in the long run.
Exactly. It's a point of principle. We've got to make the Tates see that big businesses can't just do what they like. They've got to consider the ecological consequences and forget about short-term monetary gains.
Can I say something?
Yeah, of course you can, Seth.
Well, I don't understand about ecological consequences, but I do know Betty could have deed, and I thank God she's on mend.
And so say all of us, Seth.
Yeah. See, Frank Tate says what he's doing is to make village a better place. Well, I was born here, and I probably die here. And I've seen a lot of changes. Most of them not for better. So I think it's time he were told that this is our village and not his. And we don't stop until he starts listening to us.
Well said.
I supported you through all of this, Frank. Even when I got beaten up by your thugs, because I thought that anything that brought jobs was good for this village.
Which is just what I'm trying to tell them.
Not like that. It's not right.
You're a nice lad, Biff, but not very bright. I suggest you leave the planning to me.
You can't ride roughshod over everyone in the village, Frank. We're not all simple yokels that need the likes of you to tell us what we think.
I think you've said enough, Biff. Now, why don't you go home before you regret it?
Because I'm not going to stand by and wait for somebody else to end up in hospital. I'm telling you now, this business stinks. And it's about time you stopped and thought about what you were doing.
Well, I'm sorry you think like that, Biff. Obviously, you can't go on working here under the circumstances.
You what?
You can have a month's notice. That will give you and your fiancée time enough to find somewhere else to live.
You can't do that.
Check your terms of employment.
Frank, I haven't got
There's
any...
nothing more to be said. Now, I've got work to do, so why don't you just get out? And stay out!